rest in peace to D'Angelo. Thoughts been on the brain of D'Angelo music and everything ever since the news hit the other day. 51 years old.
Yeah.
I'd seen that he'd been dealing with pancreatic cancer. I don't know if I've seen much of any details in regards to like how long. They said it seemed like he had been dealing with it for a bit privately, but yeah, I don't know if I've seen anything about any specific. And it kind of DDM actually posted the other day too. It immediately reminded me of when Chadwick Boseman passed, because it was a similar situation where people saw him around the All-Star and he looked like he had dropped a lot of weight. And then I don't think people have really seen him anymore, but come to find out he'd been, and I think Chadwick been dealing with that for years, like making movies and whatnot and keeping that under wraps. So it really makes you wonder what D'Angelo had been going through in private for however long. But yeah, no, that's
51, yo, is, you know, when I was young, a teenager and all that shit, I'm like, man, 30, fuck 30. That's way down the fucking road.
right.
Then 30 is coming up and you like, man, 50 is a long fucking time. And then when you look up, you at the door, like, yo, that's well young, yo.
Yo, that 50 niggas at the corner telling niggas he on the way, is real. Like,
it's right there.
It's right there.
Yeah.
It's right there. And for it to be right there for us and him to be right there and then, you know, not be here no more, it makes you think about a lot of stuff, you know. You should be anyway.
It's a lot of the shit that, you know, you're like, pardon me, Cal. Your everyday shit really ain't important, yo. That shit that we, you know what I mean, that we look at as, yo, it's a must. That shit ain't important.
Right.
It really
what you always say, small shit to a giant. But I mean, it's really like that though, because you know it's real life, it's real situations. But I mean, I shout out to and it's no disrespect to the term neo soul. We all people of a certain age. We've seen and we'll talk about it later. But just like we've seen the Dudley Boys turn into this tag team and then stop being a tag team, we saw a bunch of people kind of just turn this term into this movement. But I love people going back into the interviews and D'Angelo just be like, yo, I'm just making black music, like and watching. I forget what song they was performing, but it was him and Raphael Sadiq, and whatever they was playing, they turned that shit into the church. D'Angelo, he grabbed the wireless mic like the Pastor Benjamin at my church used to, got up behind that thing, and he took it to church. Like, he really talk about connecting all of the dots in black music and turning it into just something beautiful. Like, man, like you can't any D'Angelo song you name that's your favorite. Yes.
So let's do it though. Let's do, like, what's the D'Angelo record? If you like, man, you know, this dude back in the day, he did, you know, 2 fire albums and then did like a crazy surprise album. At the beginning of the surprise album Craze. Like, what's the record that you explaining who D'Angelo is? What's the record you playing for?
Damn. Say it, man.
The record that I'm playing is Lady, but that's not my favorite D'Angelo.
Which, the original version or the premiere version? Like, because there's like a couple of
the premiere version is fire. But the original version is the one that I feel like if you have never heard D'Angelo before, you have to hear it. Because he was that shit. It's like unexplainable. It's so much soul in that motherfucker.
Yes,
but that's not my shit.
What's your joint?
Cruising, okay. Yes.
Listen, I've heard a lot of folks be very, I mean, and I don't know if this is prisoner of the moment or not, but I feel like a controversial statement I've seen is that his is the version.
It's the version. It's not the version. If I'm going to listen to Cruising, I know which version I'm playing. D'Angelo, but I mean, that's what it is. That's the version that I think, just like me and those dreaming eyes of mine. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what. And the thing, and that's why I asked you about which version of Lady, because I love the Lady remix. I love the it was the Def Squad remix of Me and Those Dreaming Eyes of Mine with the Red Man on it. Yeah. It's just one. There's like this remix. He was on the remix to the GZA Cold World.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw that CD single in the store, I said, "Not D'Angelo with the GZA."
Thank you.
Yo, Ghetto Heaven. What?
My favorite is probably The Root, though. Hey, GDO.
Hey, what's going on? How y'all doing?
Doing good. How you doing?
I said, what's good?
Nothing much. Another day at the office. You know how it goes.
Totally understand.
So the discussion is of course this past week we lost D'Angelo, and the old, the new old folks have been, taking it pretty rough. What's the record, DDM, that you playing? If somebody's like, yo, I ain't never really get into D'Angelo's music, what's the record you playing to kind of put them on?
I think that's hard. Hey, proud of me. I think that's hard. Now, me as an artist, I think he's brilliant. He was brilliant. And, I posted with D'Angelo personally. I think he was probably the true heir apparent to like Prince. Keeping the tradition of Sly Stone, people like that alive. And I know I haven't answered the question yet, but you know how I am. And so when he passed, here's the thing. I was not a D'Angelo super fan. Okay,
shut up.
He was somebody who in my
Nor Wu-Tang. Proceed.
Right, I wasn't a D'Angelo super fan. He was somebody who was very ambient in my teenage years and, early adult years coming up where I knew who he was. He had songs that I liked. I remember, of course, when the Untitled video came out, because that was sophomore year of high school. And for me at least. And I remember the girls falling out. And I remember watching the video being jealous because I didn't look like that, but also to being oddly attracted to him and realizing who I was, because I was like, oh my God, this man is beautiful. Right. But if I had to choose a record, it's not off of Voodoo, which Voodoo is probably his magnum opus.
That's my favorite.
It's not off of Brown Sugar. It's actually off of D'Angelo and the Vanguard album.
Black Messiah.
It was two records on there that I absolutely love. And it was, I like that whole album. And, I know at the time the complaint was that you couldn't understand what he was saying. And I think as an artist, I think what the gem in that record is, you don't have to always understand the words, especially in the era that we're in now, where I can't understand half the things rappers are saying. But the musical texture is so rich there. Right. The artistic fabric is so rich there. And it's two records off of that album that if I had to play it for somebody to say, this is who I think D'Angelo was, would probably be The Charade and Another Life. Another Life is probably going to be the song that people play because it's so poignant to, him being gone now.
Right.
Him battling with prostate cancer and things like that. But those two records are probably the ones I would play.
My son came down here and just said that his favorite D'Angelo record was the joint that when he went like, I'm a hustler, baby. I said, boy,
He beating. You gotta beat him. You gotta beat him. You gotta beat him.
get the fuck.
Get him. Beat him.
Get out.
Get you a switch. Going on outside. Find you a switch.
Who is your parents?
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't beat the children.
Did you say your records? Did you?
No. My record is probably, and I've been saying it all week, The Root off of Voodoo. I still haven't listened to the album yet. I need to go back. It'll probably be sometime this weekend. A good front to back listen to that.
Sure.
And that because that turned 25 years old like earlier this year. That talk about a moment in time. I remember like where I was, what I was going through, and like that album was a big part of it. The 1B, which I wasn't even thinking about, but I have to because it's probably one of my favorite songs by her. Nothing Even Matters with the duet with Lauryn Hill. I love that record.
That's a big record. As soon as it come on, ding, ding, ding,
you already know. You already know.
You got a cha-cha, bitch. No, but what's interesting is 2000 is a very I think in hindsight, looking back, it was a very big year for neo soul music because in 2000 you got D'Angelo, Voodoo, Erykah Badu, Mama's Gun, and you got Jill Scott, Words and Sounds Volume 1.
Yeah.
3 magnum opuses.
Yeah.
And 2 of those were really recorded at Electric Lady. Was that Electric Lady?
Electric Lady, yeah.
Those
the Soulquarians.
Soulquarians.
Yeah, I don't think Jill Scott's was. I think she may have did hers in Philly, but
it was just Badu and then it was Badu, D'Angelo, Common, and somebody else.
Yeah, it was I forget who the other one was, but yeah, it was they own that. I mean, that was the Jimi Hendrix situation, studio. So like it I remember reading about that in the Rolling Stone, specifically about Voodoo, but when they started really connecting the dots with the Soulquarians and how they kind of just it was like when Premier was in the D&D, like there was that era of music that you knew did this come from the D&D? It just felt like it came from a particular spot.
You also got that year Music I Just Want to Sing.
Yes.
That year. You also got that year Sade came from out under her rock.
That's right. Lovers Rock.
Lovers Rock.
Lovers Rock.
Yeah.
So you had in 2000.
That was a great year.
Carl Thomas Emotional came out that year too. So 2000 for R&B, Tony Braxton, The Heat came out that year. TP2.com came out that year.
Was that Darnell Jones?
No, it was you already know who it was. And Joe put out a record that year.
I was asking if Darnell Jones came out.
So what's interesting
that year, I don't see Darnell Jones.
But it's interesting that specific era because I feel like I know D'Angelo said he hated the term neo soul.
Yes,
but I think it was required because of the divide in black music specifically. Hip hop was the same way in that specific era where there was the glamoring glitz, you know what I'm saying, like the industry stuff, and then it was the artsy fartsy folks that was the avant-garde, you know what I'm saying? So it was I love that era because it really taught me like what I like, and it showed me like I don't.
There were definitely clearer lines in between the mainstream and the underground, but also like different sects of hip hop to the point where I love the story Questlove keeping it real, saying he had said something in an interview that was like kind of negative towards Biggie before Biggie had passed because after the What They Do video there was a little bit of friction there, but it was because it was such a Jiggy era versus I mean that was like the pre Soulquarian area. It was all kind of built out of the
Shout out
roots
to Chaos.
in that spot. But
Bilal came out that year too.
shouts to Bilal. I did want to say chat
That
was meant.
that was a big year.
2000 was a huge year. What damn the songs in A minors. Well, yeah, Alicia Keys was starting to pop around that time too.
That was 2001.
People in chat are mentioning. I mean, it's crazy to think it was only so many months ago that Angie Stone passed away. I'd seen because they had there's a Junior, Michael Archer Jr., D'Angelo's son, was their child. I believe there's one clip of Angie and their son reacting to D'Angelo talking about working with Angie. And when I heard the news, I went to the Instagram, like he was already sharing it. It's been kind of crazy to see. Here goes Steeler Man over here. It's kind of crazy to see. Not just how much it's touched the people, but I didn't realize he had a daughter. It's like kids she was older too. Yeah, she dropped like a whole. There was a whole thing I saw somebody share on IG, that she had posted to her father.
I think there's the conversation to be had about, because I feel like especially this year, like a conversation about like Virginia artists. You know what I'm saying? The year that the clips have had and the reception for that album, it's people don't really have a conversation about Virginia in music. And
right,
D'Angelo, being a singer, he really wasn't like, yeah, VA nigga, what, on those records. But I think that played a part in that environment, man. And so yeah, man, shout out to D'Angelo, rest in peace, brother.
Did you give your favorite fan?
Oh, that Spanish joint is my favorite D'Angelo record.
I love
it. But like Feels Like Making Love is also like an amazing.
I love that record as well. Again, you could really it's I don't want to sound like I'm being fake or whatever, but you really like there's so many of his records that I love. It's like, nah, yeah, I understand why you like that record too. Shout out not Chris Breezy.
I think he's definitely an album artist. I think that's the era that he came up when he had singles, but he's definitely an album artist. That's what I like about that era. Particularly when you listen to like the big three of that year, which was obviously Words and Sounds Volume 1, Mama's Gun, and Voodoo. All three of those albums, I remember the first time I listened to Mama's Gun, and I used to always listen to records on my way to school. It's just such a artistic thing. Jill Scott, like I remember going to junior prom, us dancing to Slowly Surely off of Words and Sounds Volume 1.
Damn.
And it's but that was the level of class and the level of style that we had when it came to music. There was such a good balance and such a good range. Yes, we was listening to Notorious K.I.M. and Cisco, but we was also listening to blues records. I think music back then was just a lot more intelligent with how they approach even hoe rap. Like, people got mad at me because I did not like Cardi B's album. And I told them, I said, the reason why I didn't like it is because I've heard this theme done in a more intelligent way.
How do we get here? You can pull off the exit.
I get what you're saying, though, Didi. I totally get what you're saying.
Like when you've heard Notorious,
there's an approach to the album, yeah.
Broken Silence, even China Doll, which was frowned upon when it came out. Like, if you're gonna rap about hoeing, like Kim had a whole song about her period where she had a little girl rapping. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just, if you're going to do that,
you got to be intelligent about it.
Like, to a young person who's never heard those songs, this is probably, oh my God. But when you've heard that caliber on this done on the same subject matter, it's hard for me to go crazy over something that's not even as clever.
We've been down this whole path before.
Make a U-turn.
Well, yeah, I do want to say, I mean, speaking of making a U-turn, I've not given it as much shine as I want to, but I need to, especially after watching the video that Alchemist put up today. But I'm kind of feeling that Mob Deep, that new Mob Deep album.
It's fire.
I feel like I need to go somewhere. Like I need to be on a trip.
I haven't heard it. I've been listening to Kwame's, which
that's what I need to listen to.
I haven't checked it.
I found it on a humble. I was not checking for nor looking for a Kwame record.
Right.
But a colleague of mine was playing it in her car, and I was like, "Oh, this is cute. Who is this?" And she's like, "It's Kwame." So I go and I listen to it, and it's only 27 minutes. He understands the assignment.
Okay.
And I was kind of annoyed because Joe Budden said, he sound old and dated. Joe Budden, everybody's not like you trying to sound like a 20-year-old. That man is in his 50s. His subject matter speaks to a 50-year-old man. The sound speaks to a 50-year-old man who likes the rap that he likes.
Right.
It doesn't sound like he's trying to chase some 20-year-old. This is the thing that annoys me with hip-hop. Hip-hop used to be a young man's game, but those same young people are aging now. They still want to make hip-hop music. It's not going to sound like a 20-year-old, and nor should it, because then if he came out and he was trying to sound like that, you would say he trying to keep up and he trying to chase his youth and all of that. He stayed in his lane, and he stayed in his lane and did it very well.
This has been the year. This has been the year for aging hip hop, and I think the concept of hip hop being a young man's game was only because hip hop was young, like as an art form. It's still fairly young compared to almost every other genre we can talk about. So I think that's the case, and it's just we're getting a chance to see these guys understand that you can still make the music, but it's just if you focus on the art and not chase, don't chase the wave because the wave isn't sustainable, right? It's chase quality and be who you are in your music. I mean, hip hop is a very honest art form. So if you are chasing anything, it'll be honest. I mean, it'll be obvious. So that being the case, I mean, old niggas is having a nice little run.
Facts.